But let's get
Yes,
the
the
spell
scroll
scroll.
breakdown. So
So
175 plus the let's do the rolls
yeah,
here
do
is
the roll.
Arcana
So
and
it's an Arcana and a Charisma Persuasion.
okay.
And then so your sale price 175 times 2 is 350. Total sale price will be 350, and then depending on your rolls, that can go up or down percentage wise. So we'll see what you get.
Okay. So first we'll do the Arcana and then
Oh,
we'll do the said Persuasion.
yeah. Okay, so that's a 22 total. So they are sold for 100% of their sale price. That's right in the middle.
Not too bad.
Yeah, your scrolls are made just fine. They get sold off. So if you sell all 7 of them, that will get you 350 so 175 gold profit for you.
Okay. So I'll just type that in chat here. That's one.
Hmm.
So now I would have enough that I could do a level 2 scroll and then some level 1 scrolls. So the level 2 scroll is going to take 3 days, right?
Yes. So if you have 7 days, you'd be able to do 1 second and 4 firsts or 4 cantrips.
Sounds good. I think I will go with that then.
Okay, 4 first levels then on top of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be 350 total. So you're spending all the money that you just made.
Yep.
And then cool. So 350. This will add up to a total of 700. So then you want to make the 2 checks again. Okay, that's a good one. All right. 26 is still within the 100% range. Go ahead and write down. Did I say 700? Yeah, 700 gold.
So
Yeah, plus 350. And then technically, I think you can. By the way, what first and second level spells are you making? I know you said identify is generally the first level, or detect
yeah,
magic, maybe.
identify is gonna always be the highest value one because ain't nobody got time to get those pearls.
Yeah.
Um, the second level spell. Um, shoot. Well, I would have probably tried to reach out for any.
Gentle repose is
Yeah,
solid.
that's kind of the one I was thinking is gentle repose as reaching out to like healers and
Yeah.
grave administrators and whatnot and
I mean, hey,
mortuaries.
if it's anything like my uh, Dragon Heist campaign, there are plenty of people with dead girlfriends they need to keep in their basement until they can afford resurrection.
Yep. So
That's funny.
that makes sense. That's probably the most useful. Everybody's got access to things that go boom, but things that
Yeah.
keep a
And
corpse
then like
cool.
what is that? It's a cleric, wizard, and probably like one other person spell. I forget who can use it.
Um,
Clerics and wizards would be like the main shit though, because like
cleric.
most spellcasters you'd run into in the world would be wizards, and then probably the second most common would either be like bards or clerics.
Something like that. Hi, everyone.
Right.
Hi, hello.
Hey everyone on
Hi,
the
hi.
Dope Crew stream. How's it going?
Let's play some D and also D.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Okay, so third set you'd have your 7 days, and so you've got your 700 total for that.
Mm-hmm. So that would allow me to
Third level spells cost 500 gold and take 5 days to make. Or you've got the previous ones that you could do as well.
Ooh, I bet somebody would love a scroll of Phantom Steed.
Cool.
I think that and 2 level 1 spells is how I'm going to finish it out.
Yeah, okay, so that's going to be 550, so you end up with
Thank you.
1,010.
Okay.
No, 1,100, sorry. So,
Alright, let's see how I roll this time.
one more.
Whoo-wee.
Oh my god, he did it.
And persuasion. That's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, that is well over 40. So you get the they sell quickly, and for 100 plus 3d10% of their sale price. So go ahead and roll 3d10, and we'll add that to the 100%. So 109%, and then so 100 times 1.9 is 1,199 gold.
That's pretty sweet.
That is money making.
Yeah. So, that's, and I had started with, what was it, 195?
I don't know what you started with. Whatever was on your sheet.
So, yeah, it was 195. So that's going to basically be, we consumed 175, and that was what bankrolled all of this. So that left me with basically 20 plus our sum total of 1199 of 1219.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
fantastic. Where are we at in terms of the progress towards the next what's it called level? The general.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, the forts. Let me double check where we are on that. So we're actually at current level 4 for the major forts. So Fort Maricus and Orbis are at 0 out of 3,800 gold for the upgrade to level 5. And then the minor forts, keep Silex, keep Ignis, whatever else you'd get in the future as minor forts, are at 0 out of 1,800, so they're on their way to level 4.
Okay. I'm not going to use the thing that funds the enterprise to invest in any of those just yet. But now that things are seriously rolling with it,
yeah, because you can reuse all that.
Now I'm
stuff.
basically opening the doors for all able-bodied wizards to join the operation. I'll help finance it, and in exchange, they get to keep part of the earnings, and part of the earnings will go towards the fort.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. Perfect. Okay, so that's adjudicated. So now.
You said there was one last day.
We got 20 days, and I bumped it up to 21 just for math.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Gotcha.
I think we did 777.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Then next time I will.
So Nimbus is all caught up. Yeah. Let me see. So
thanks, Eli.
I would like to get everybody warmed up with a fun question for your characters, and then we'll go into updates and explorations. So this week's question for everyone is, if you had to retire from adventuring, what would you do as an alternative?
Oh, that's easy. I intend to retire from adventuring as soon as I have the most epic story ever written in bardic form. It's what I'm doing here. I'm gonna turn all of these adventures into one epic performance. It'll be my breakaway.
And by retire, you mean literally retire and just have your money off of your
off of my great work. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Now, Ambergreen is like how old? Something.
Yeah, somewhat young for a clay dwarf, but not super young anymore. Like he left. He's not a child or a teenager.
Okay, 76. Okay.
I'm like, no, we had his age around here.
Yeah. So That was just funny to me thinking about the retirement age for a dwarf. They live till like 400.
Right.
Okay, very good though.
I think Naya would find it really easy to retire. There's a question of her age, because she is still young.
Yeah. But the question I think is like if you had to stop today and make a living for yourself, how would you go about it if for some reason you turned back into a level 0 peasant or just could not? Nobody hires adventurers anymore or whatever the hell.
Oh, I see. Okay, well that's
reasoning.
pretty easy. She can kind of go anywhere and heal. She can go anywhere and do herbalism. She can go anywhere and kind of be something of a story piece because she's different. But she doesn't need a lot to get by, and so I think that she's probably pretty happy going anywhere that she's needed and just hanging. She could go back to the dwarves. It doesn't take much to earn enough to live or just to eat, get a roof over your head,
basically
kind of
like the friendly skilled vagrant.
Yeah.
Plus, as you said, she's a novelty.
Yeah, as a novelty, she's that's kind of a pain.
She could be someone's like local
she
mascot.
could trade that for something. She could tell stories, although she's not that much of a storyteller. It's not really her shtick. But she can certainly go places and be a healer. She can go anywhere and be a healer, and that's in demand. She could be a translator. She could. There's lots of things that she could do just for a little bit of coin and a roof and food.
Okay.
Playing D&D.
Yeah, I think, from on Lauren, there was a time where the answer to that would have been just go home and rejoin the court and, be a member of House Lorin and just do what was expected.
Right,
But,
like low level politics until the 16 prior members of the throne went and died. Maybe.
Right, exactly, and that would have been fine. Honestly, it's what he expected. But I think that lately he's sort of started to realize that you can just decide who you're going to be. You can just reinvent yourself. Especially when you live as long as elves do. You literally have whole human lifespans that you could just decide to be someone else in. So I think for him now, he's like, I think I would just teach for a while, maybe? Wander? I don't know. I think I'd try what interested me.
Cool.
The taste of freedom, that's cool.
Yeah, what is this? Character development?
It would probably come as no
That's
surprise that Nimbus would just go back to his homeland. There's plenty of opportunities for him there. If he wasn't able to complete his own personal objectives and had to return because he was like too injured to continue or something and wasn't able to get healing or whatever,
Yeah.
he'd still have to continue his training and still have to reach the highest levels of mastery in the field of magic, because that's kind of a bigger deal for him and his family. So it's, he's already kind of got his path set. It's just, we'll see how he gets there.
Very well. Okay. All right, great. So,
I think it's kind of interesting and kind of sad that it doesn't occur to Naya that she could go home. I mean, I don't think it occurs to her that that's even an option.
Totally.
it wouldn't, because she's been gone for what, like 10 years, and it's literally never been an option from like the week before she left.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, from her perspective, that's it. That she would not be welcome at home, and she had, brought stain to the family name, and so she just needed to remain away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just doesn't even cross her mind that she might go home.
Well, now she's got loads of friends here, and if she ever if by the time this thing dries up, however it ends, assuming everybody doesn't die horribly in some weird way, she could just go hang out with whoever ends up sticking together after this, go back to the Empire, start a new adventuring company or some shit.
Yeah.
Go be a professor about weird shit I saw in the Redshift zone.
Right. I mean, there's all kinds of options that don't have anything to do with being in combat.
Yeah. Okay. So I had my other Department of Redshift Studies at the Imperial Academy. That's sort of what Dex actually came from, and what sort of started this whole thing. He was basically the one guy who was really into trying to figure out what this thing was. Obviously, the Empire it lives kind of adjacent to it. So it was kind of in the periphery of knowledge. It had been going on for 1,000 years, so nobody was really worried about it expanding. It's off a few days' journey off into the Outlands. So it's basically just the place insane treasure hunters and stuff go. But he was always the guy who'd occasionally he'd give a lecture on it, or he'd go find somebody who actually made their way back out of the Redshift zone after going stepping their toe in there and running scared from whatever they found, and interview them and compile their notes and stuff like that, and then bring it to the greater, for lack of a better term, public knowledge. And so he's the one who was hey, we don't actually know really anything about this shit. Let's go investigate it and let's see if maybe we can fix it. So that was his whole thing, and why he invented this or proposed the whole commission. And on that very same subject, we are in Fort Orvis. It is currently the 5th day of Idus, 12th month of the year. So we're coming up on the end. Winter is starting soon. And the 4 of you are kind of rounded up by Brigadier Demira for a conversation. So she just comes and fetches you from wherever you are, or invites you to her office for a minute. She's just hey, I had something I wanted to discuss, and I thought I would bring it up with you all before we make it official.
All right. What's this?
Regarding the idea to send a contingent force up to what was it? Vragend, the northern city on that map we discovered in the old Orvis. I considered it a little bit further, and I thought that it may in fact be a good idea for us to have maybe a secondary team return to the Empire and go from the northern mountains into the ranges up there and see if they can establish a foothold up in that direction. I spoke to Dex about it. He has told me that even across the distance that far, they should be able to set up a communication device in their obelisk. So as soon as this team is prepared and has established their base, we'd be able to speak to them again and stay in contact. And I've, in fact, recommended Venthers XEF to lead this effort. He is... he's helped out enough with creating the obelisks. He should be able to, or he is able to craft them himself if needed. And I think as far as managing a new, a secondary military force, he's our best choice. So I'm planning on bringing this up to everyone shortly. But I wanted to hear your opinions before I do. Now, one thing I would ask, I would certainly like you all to remain here on what I think we can consider the main front with us, because we certainly need you over here. Especially while it's going to take probably several months for them to establish a new fort. But I will be asking for volunteers from our current forces alongside anybody else they intend to recruit back home. So we'll have time to figure that all out.
All right. All right with me.
Well, it makes sense, I think.
That definitely sounds like a good idea.
Okay. We'll consider it done then. I've actually already been in communication with the Empire. I've put in a letter up to the Crown and made this proposal. I actually just received tentative approval a couple days ago. So I think we'll have whoever wants to volunteer for this and go along with Captain Van. Most likely they'll head out when this current Redshift clears. And hopefully they'll be able to set it up quickly, and we'll hear from them again soon.
Definitely. Sounds good.
All right, so in that case, a little bit later, as the Redshift is still on, the Brigadier will round up the whole gathering of people who are at Fort Orbis. And she will make that same announcement to all of them. They've discovered the existence of a possible site of interest far to the north in the land that used to be Bessoff. And much like we investigated the city of Orvis, if things are in a similar situation up there, it would very likely be in the Commission's best interest to find whatever they can, take inventory of the city, and possibly find out more of what happened during the Redshift or before the Redshift in that place. And so any volunteers from the current group, any volunteers from Fort Maricus, the other locations, should report to Captain Venthers XEF, and he will be leading the team in the northern reaches of Bethoff. And altogether, the people who do end up going with Van, out of the important people that you know, would be so Van, obviously, Faliel, Shashra, and Kuromizawa all decide to accompany him up there, plus a decent chunk of other people from the commission here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Agreed, Montlarin. We've come a long way since one little wooden shack in the eastern Badlands of the Holy Empire.
Oh, it's not so bad. It's just cursed horribly.
Yes.
Well, and every day we learn how to deal with it.
Well, yeah. But we still don't really know much about why.
Honestly, at this rate, I'm willing to just try to keep chasing the the memory of those travelers we keep seeing until we maybe get the Redshift to change on its own somehow.
Agreed. If there's any chance that we could find something similar going north too, then, well,
Possibly, though.
we'll figure that out when we get there.
I kind of had the feeling they were going towards this direction.
Yeah, you can recall that one of their numbers certainly said that they were heading toward a certain city.
Right. That was that the gnome or the tabaxi that said that?
I believe it was the tabaxi.
Yeah, I like. I'm very curious why their story is echoing through time. Like,
Right.
it's an interesting puzzle I'd like to solve.
Yeah, the time echoey sort of stuff is what to me seems to be the root. That's the thing you would chase if you were trying to figure out what actually the Redshift is, what it's about,
Right.
why it's happening. I think it's that. I think somewhere there's a culmination. Like I have a picture in my mind, but I can't. It's hard for me to describe it of what could have happened. You know how it's very poetic, right? It fits in the. I'm writing a rock opera about it.
Indeed.
Indeed. All right.
So the next couple of days are a flurry of activity as people pack up their shit and get ready to go. There are as many goodbyes as you would like. And we have a little bit of catch up we can do on like downtime stuff. So we already did Nemesis, but does anybody else want to take some downtime for the past couple of weeks of Redshift that we've had?
I'm just working on my work.
Yeah,
I'm just I don't even remember where we left off, to be honest.
Okay. Do you want? Would you like a recap then? Because I can go through like the stuff that's happened because it has been a bit since we played.
I mean, the last time we did the loop and we did the temple thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm trying to work the names of the gods into a whole like song of its own. It's like a piece of the greater work.
like an interlude.
Yeah, exactly. This is gonna have chapters, you know it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Rock epic.
For sure.
All the good bardic edits.
I'm actually thinking of calling it a stone epic, but I'm not sure.
A stone poem.
A stone poem, right? And see, it's a whole new genre that I'm working with here.
I'm dying.
As far as downtime goes, sir, one thing I do want to bring up is I'm kind of like Montlarin is kind of deciding maybe he's going to stay here, and so he's going to start asking, for access to like history books and stuff to try to learn what he can about this world.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so he would have been spending some time doing that.
Okay. Dex has those certainly. He'd probably have like at least one or two just reference books on basic shit that's happened in the past, and obviously mostly centered on the Cradian Empire.
Right.
But just to kind of go over it for you, because being from a parallel universe, like maybe a little of this is like kind of familiar to Montlarin. He might occasionally see something where he's like, "Oh yeah, that's kind of like that thing that happened at that point in time." But maybe
Yep. You guys had a Great Plague too,
right? Wow, your gods look a lot like ours.
Oh yeah, well all the gods would be exactly the same, but they just have different names, and maybe like one of them would be like a different aspect or something.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Like fucking like Heinhelia would be like
Helmholia, and it'd be a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dad god instead of
festival?
mom goddess.
No, it's the Waffle Festival.
Oh, there is one other downtime thing that I forgot.
Go ahead.
The seeds, the pound of giant berry seeds that we got last time. I would
that's
have
right.
given those to Soriana to, do her thing with and see if she could make like a viable food source for us, or
Okay, yeah. So if you give her those and you basically tell her like, hey, these were really big fruits or berries or something we found.
They're like giant cranberries or grapes or something.
Yeah. So she says she will do her best to cultivate them. She'll also shoot a few off
too. You should probably tell her about that.
She says she smells one of them and she's like, it's probably fine.
You didn't eat these, did you?
No, it's probably fine. I taste everything. I'll try taking care of these. I can send a few off to the grandmother, too, if you want. She did a good job growing some stuff before.
It was more that these were seemingly growing well in the swamp, so I wonder if it's something that we could utilize the swampiness of the area to have.
Ooh, okay. I can try making a garden down on the shore. I'd have to get Dex to help me tear up one of the buildings, probably. That might be fun.
One of these days, we'll just have to get the scaffolding and build out the rest of the area where the obelisk covers, but we don't actually have usable space.
Yeah, Nami was telling me about how they want to build like a second layer under the dais, so it's like on the water, so people could get to boats and stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So she'll do her best to get those sorted, and she will send a couple off to the grandmother, who was very successful in growing a seed earlier. Now, Montlarin, your history books, just like broad strokes, the local continent that includes the Cradian Empire, Vesoth, and a few other places. The Empire being the major superpower in the region, was founded was like colonized, basically like 10 or so elf lifetimes ago, roughly. And this was done by people who came from a southern continent, came up here, landed, and began taking this land from, which was basically covered by one singular enormous forest that still exists basically around the borders of most of civilization right now, around the north and the east, roughly. And they just kind of slowly chipped away at that until they had formed a independent society. Gradually, people kind of naturally split off into tribes, kingdoms, independent colonies, became individual nations, stuff like that. So 1,000 years ago, the major superpower would have been Vesov. Once that went away, the Kradian Empire filled the power vacuum. They grew much larger and much more influential. And the other real superpower would be the... I forget if I've named it. 1 second.
I didn't name that guy.
No, see, I know where it is.
Lost to history. That's what you're supposed to say to another group, but their name is lost to.
It's not lost to history because I have it. Hang on, I gotta look for it now. 1 second. This is what you.
Oh, you're lucky I don't have my joke soundboards up.
It's actually, to be fair, it's and the other, which is. But should I tell you?
But should I tell you?
I want
Let me think about.
Roll on your ability to read the history books. I already told you have.
Yeah. Roll history with super disadvantage.
Roll erudition. How well do you read, son?
I have a paper world map somewhere around here, but I can't find it. Hang on, you got me on this, so I gotta look. If I can't find it in the next 2 minutes, I'm gonna give up.
Yeah, I'll bug you in chat later in a worst case.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up. Hang on. Be right back. Role play amongst yourselves.
No, but that is actually a good point. Armament-wise, how's everybody doing?
Forgive me, viewers. I have to do a thing. Whoop, whoop. Okay, that was it. You saw it. That's all. I just needed to open a new tab so I could open up the appropriate joke soundboards because I couldn't make the good jokes with the soundboards because I didn't have them up.
Does everyone have all the tools and equipment and armor and whatnot that they need for the moment?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm not like super rich, but I am sitting on about 180 gold, so I'm also not poor.
I figure I should hit long rest while we were hanging in place.
My own gear is pretty decent. I'm wearing chain and a strap shield. I guess if I really saved up, I could switch to plate, but I mean, I have an 18 AC. I'm doing fine.
I'm gonna go back to my 3 ration. No, dude. Okay. I feel like I'm alright.
Have thrown it away because I have a version that I made digitally that I don't think has any name on it. That's correct. Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna bug you later about that then because I do want it.
Great. Well, yeah. So there, basically, it is a super mountain where the majority of the nation in that region is sea level, thus under the mountain. And the other local superpower is the desert nation Kotara, which has been less of a superpower, more of everybody knows about it because it's been having clan wars for like the past fucking forever.
How do you spell that?
Coterra.
Thank you.
It's a dragonborn nation across the desert. Southwest.
Wait, what? A dragonborn nation?
Oh, yeah. They,
a whole nation of dragonborn?
Basically, they're a little, they're a little bit exclusionary not to the degree that they won't accept travelers, but
Well, she's actually a dragonborn though. So
yeah. But just for like the context of like what kind of culture lives here.
Well, but Dragonborn are very clannish. So
they are clannish, and the big thing that tends to happen in Kotara is that various clans, probably once a long time ago, it was distinct colors, but at a certain point, like they started meshing together over time in times of peace, and then started warring again. So it all became a mess. They all started following names and leaders instead of colors, so they're not like actually racist against Dragonborn. And there were basically at this point two major clans that have come out of the dust of history and effectively have been trading control of the country back and forth every generation or two. But in terms of like being exclusionary, like they are welcoming the travelers, but there are a couple of cities in the nation where basically, unless you are a dragonborn or are accompanying a dragonborn who is respected by the city, they're probably going to tell you to like, hey, go over there to like the travelers trading outpost, because this is Dragonborn city sort of thing. This has become less. Yeah, this has become less common in certain times of war and strife, including the very big blizzard that took up part of the country for a few years and has since been removed. Here is. The lizards were so okay, I can talk forever about this because this was an adventure that I wrote. But there wouldn't actually be a lot of info on it in the book Montlarn is reading because it only happened like 2 years ago in World.
Sure. I just like the idea of a lizard blizzard. That's good.
Yeah,
a lizard blizzard.
It was basically the two clans were at war, and as the current clan was assassinating the previous king and conquering the kingdom, one of the leaders of one of the cities allied with the losing clan, in paranoia and desperation, opened up a portal to the plane of ice, and effectively it worked like a nuke. And
yeah, I was gonna say that's a little more than a blizzard.
Yeah, and it pretty much iced the whole city immediately, and then because the portal was stable and nobody was able to stop it, and it generated a blizzard that nobody could get back into, that blizzard slowly expanded until it basically covered half the country, and they had lost like many towns. They were in the process of losing like a second and third city before it got resolved. And
how did that get resolved?
Holy crap!
Some guys went in there and they managed to break into the blizzard and go find the portal and used the tools that were used to create the portal to turn it into a handheld handheld, very unstable ice portal and brought it with them.
Oh, man. I think I remember reading about this, but I thought it was a legend.
I think you do. I definitely told you guys about that while I was writing it. Anyway, here's
well, I was trying to stay in character.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
See, and that's why I have this sample.
Naya would have, could definitely have heard about the blizzard, because like if you heard about Kotara, you would have heard pretty much the past, like before Redshift started, the past 5 years was that blizzard was there, so it would have been very current events if any news of that country came by. But it's fine now. So we only have 2 big bad things that are on the world map now.
Cool.
Anyway, Montlarin, that spot where it says "not much here" on the left is actually where that mountain kingdom is. So TBD.
Where's
Sweet.
the map? I see no map.
Oh, I put it in Discord.
Yeah, it's in the Discord.
Oh, in Discord. I'm not broadcasting no Discord.
Sorry. I can put it as a handout, I guess. One second.
If you want.
I'll do it.
Watch it. I'll do it.
I don't care how on topic we are tonight.
I like this isn't here anymore, but it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. That's
Cool.
2 years ago from when I made this map. So that's like current time in game 2 years ago. From when Redshift started, it would have been only gone for a couple months.
Neat.
All right. Well, I'm loading this file into this mysterious note. It's
Fucking A, man.
there we go.
By the way, anybody watching my stream who's curious, I use Sirenscape for the music and sound effects, and I also use a website called Tabletop Audio and use their sound pad feature. And they have sound pads for like any type of adventure you want to do. Basically, like if not any, then most. Like you want to do film noir, they got a film noir one. I mean,
Neat.
I got all sorts of shit in here. I think there's 20 of them I'm looking at. So yeah, I sort of do a melange of Sirenscape primarily for the big ambiances, and then this tabletop audio website for a bunch of other fill-ins, and then I have these 2 like user-made rando ones that have things like the dramatic chipmunk, or the one I
that's a
play
throwback.
whenever the dungeon master does something silly. So.
This is appreciated.
Fun stuff. Most of the time, though, I try to keep it all theme. Like right now, we're in a room that's got some creaking floorboards, and there's a fly that shows up every now and then. There's a fireplace burning, and sometimes there's somebody messing with, I guess, coins or something on a countertop.
We are in a swamp, so there would be lots of bugs, especially now that you killed the Aragamne, and this city isn't dead anymore.
Yeah, but that's the only thing I'm in right now. That's the only
Gross.
kind of sounds we're hearing. When we're usually in like a city square, a town square or whatever, oh, and there's your mysterious note. Nice. I will do stuff like ambience, like animals and people talking and, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's okay. We're inventing this world map as we as we live. Don't worry about the Infringerino on the map, on the item next to the Cradian Empire, by the way.
This sea has a name.
It does. I named it the other day. It's the Prism Sea. It's right there.
Brilliant.
You guys know about it.
So declarative. This sea has a name.
It's the Prism Sea. I gotta update my map.
Hey, making assertions is important in world building.
Fucking A, it is. This isn't here anymore, but it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's
Kotera.
so.
Look,
That's
there's where Kotera is, guys.
yeah. That's the big blizzard.
And could be anything. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's there. That could be the end of the map. That could be more
Not
stuff.
much here.
It could be not much here is the Mountain Kingdom that I mentioned. So there is in fact much there, but you just can't see it from above.
Important later. Important later makes me want to hit the dramatic chipmunk
It
again.
looks like snow from here.
It does. Could be anything. Yeah, it's white. It just could be snow. Or it just could be someplace that has no culture. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it is just somewhere I haven't colored in because I don't know if that's gonna be ocean. Maybe.
Here be the vast and uncharted forest of darkness. Bitchin'. Right on. And we are over here in this red circle with the lines in it for anybody keeping track.
Yes, the old kingdom of Vesoth lost 1,000 years ago to some weird shit.
Yeah.
Go to the tower, find out what happened. Okay, so Montlarin is studying. Ambergreen is working on his epic. Naya, did you have anything in particular you'd like to be working on during downtime? You've got about
Exploring.
10 days, basically.
Exploring. She goes out every day, checks out what there is, see if there's any history, see if there's anything. I mean, I know the place has been scoured, but she's got to she's got a perspective. So she.
Let me, in that case, see if there might be perhaps one or two things you can find that weren't found before.
Ooh, fun.
Care to just roll me a d50 real quick?
D50 abuse.
Actually, you could do 2d50. So do /r space 2d50.
2d50. I did a 1.
Do another one.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Roll that sweet
All
D1.
right, 3
47.
and 44. No, I just want the individual numbers. That's why we want to. So actually, you guys already found the one on 3 last time around. Delightful. Okay, this is a good one. You decide to visit during a day when you have a little bit of freedom to walk out in the area that is the Redshift zone outside of the obelisk's range, and still in the city. You decide to go take a visit to what one group found as a burned out husk of a residential building with like a stone fence. It looks like it was likely a decent sized manor in the city, and this isn't the first time people have explored it with the commission. Basically, what they've found so far was that this was the house of Sir Arnon, one of the heroic defenders of the city in its prime. But it's been scoured pretty clearly, and there's really not a lot of evidence that was found of his influence or anything like that. After what you can tell was pretty clearly like a fire that must have been the thing that destroyed this building. There's still like rotted, charred wood left behind that's been sort of preserved over the ages. And one thing that you do, so I guess Naya might have decided to go back here. Maybe she hasn't checked it out herself before. Maybe she's thinking, maybe there's something buried under somewhere. Maybe I could find like a secret door or something. You might as well take another look.
She likes to explore.
Yeah.
So she's just poking around.
This is outside of the. This is like not during the Redshift, right?
Yeah, this would have to be outside of the Redshift.
Right,
but before we went and did anything else.
Yeah,
right. But I mean, she gets
possibly like maybe if last Redshift, Naya might have stayed near Orbis, so she might have had time as the Redshift was starting after the first wave, but a few days before it got here, to do a little like extra exploring or something like that.
Perfect. I just need to set the mood.
Yeah. So you're here alone, and you're just poking around, not really finding too much, and you get into one of the areas of this manor that's still kind of standing, and the light of the sun is behind the main wall at this point. So you decide to light up your handheld bonfire that you use to see in the dark, and you scout around for a little bit with this flame in your hand, and again, you kind of just like sifting through the dust, turning over the occasional piece of rubble, when you hear pretty clearly, because it would be kind of bone silent in this area, just you wandering around. you hear voices coming out of the flame that you're wielding. And it sounds like people, and you can catch a few snippets of dialogue from what sounds like a very desperate and panicked group. And you receive things along the lines of help us, or all is lost, or it's coming, let us in, please, or you're supposed to protect us. And things like that. If you put out the fire in your hand, those things will stop.
So there's nobody else around.
No, you
she
could very
she
clearly like
she experiments with the source, the possible source of these voices she's hearing. She's not used to hearing voices. That's not her thing.
Yeah.
So she douses the flame of the cantrip, and the voices stop.
Yeah. So like,
then she starts it up again, and the voices resume.
If you start it up again in the same spot, yeah, you kind of get like this. It would sort of be like a long loop of like these.
Right. That's like an echo.
Mixed sounds of despair.
Right.
Basically.
But the transmission medium is fire, or the fire of her cantrip, or whatever. Yeah. It's very specific to the cantrip. So as long as she holds the cantrip in her hand, which she can do for like 10 minutes at a time or something, she can hear this entire loop of what happened in that space.
Correct.
So it's like an audio history.
Like at a museum where you're walking around with your little headset and you type in the number of the painting.
Right, except in this case,
it's
coming through the flame of her cantrip.
Yeah.
So
somehow that's your viewer.
She's got her so she's got her notebook, and she makes a note of what. I mean, it's kind of awkward, but
can you make a insight check with advantage?
Insight with advantage?
Okay. Yeah, I want to see how much of this from just like this audio that Naya can glean from the events that might have happened that she's hearing.
How do I do advantage again? I don't do that.
You should have a little toggle on the top right that says advantage, disadvantage stuff. Don't do advantage plus, just regular advantage. Okay, 16's good. Yeah, like you listen to it for a while, you take some notes, and like the sort of gist that you get from it is like really the feeling of a panicked mob of people. There are a lot of different voices you can identify. All ages and types. You don't really get like any names or information or like specific proper noun contexts for any of these things. But you can tell pretty clearly like that these sounds you're hearing originate from like a mob of people trying to escape some terrible event.
Right, and they're locked out.
Yeah.
So uplifting.
Is she through the gates? The burned out gates?
Yeah, so you'd be like inside the mansion proper.
Okay, as she moves around the mansion, does she hear other things, or is it just this one loop?
It's basically just this one loop.
Okay.
And then like if you were to leave the manor grounds, is when it'll kind of like fade out, and by the time you get into the street, you don't hear anything anymore.
Right. So she experiments a bit with moving around and where she hears it and where she doesn't, and all that stuff. She's a good scientist in that sense of testing it, and makes notes about the area where she can hear it, what she can hear, what the words are, any kind of context that comes through from the crowd in the noise. And makes a very specific note about where she is. And so her intent is to go back to town and give this information to Dex or the Brigadier or somebody who might be interested in that for recording the history of this place.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like this is anything one finds of that context is like immediately write that shit down. Like they don't even question the part where you're like, I'm hearing voices that sound like an echo from the past. That's like, yeah, we do that now.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, it's like this is a magical place. Magic happens.
It be like that sometimes.
Okay,
it's a cool thing. It's also sad. Naya's really sensitive to that kind of thing, and so the fact that these people died screaming, in fear and panic, is a very sad. On the one hand, she's glad to have the record of it and to know that it happened and stuff. At the same time, it hurts her heart.
And you know what? Let me give you one more thing, because it has been a couple weeks of in-game time, and I'd like to give you a little more context.
I was just to say real quick, in general,
go right ahead.
Whenever there's any amount of like records of panic and screaming and terror and stuff, I expect one of two things: giant invasion or Redshift, the first Redshift. I only say giant invasion because they talked about giants and the giant slayers, and that being a big deal back when the first flashback scene happened.
Yeah, there was that legend that was.
Well, in this case, the screaming that she hears in the background is that it's coming. They're coming.
They're coming, so that could be the giants.
It could be, yeah. We don't know what, but something.
I guess that would be a thing to see if there's any record of giants ever sieging this location. If Orvis was ever attacked, or that we can find a record of it, but I doubt it'll be that easy.
Well, it was one of the remarkable things, remember, when we first got here, is that there's absolutely no sign of life having ever been here besides the buildings still standing. There were no bones, there was nothing in the dust, and even though it had been a long time, the place was protected, and you'd kind of expect to see some element of bone.
Yes, that is a good note, actually. So I did want to give you at least one other point of interest.
Okay.
So, on the subject of there being no sign of a previous life, you might decide to visit the open graveyard of one of the city's cemeteries that was discovered elsewhere in the city. And again, this has all been well explored already by the commission. But just taking a look at it, like you go from grave to grave, and a lot of them have been toppled over. What you find, looking closely, pretty much all of them have these long, really narrow cylindrical, like needle-like holes that pierce down into the ground and they go down as far as you can see, presumably like to where the bodies were buried, or
Okay, wait a second. Let me just clarify.
Yeah.
She sees headstones, gravestones.
Yeah. Like this is like an open graveyard, so
Okay.
it would have been one of the cemeteries of the city.
Okay, so there's headstones there, and as she walks around, she can see holes in the ground in front of the headstones where the grave would be.
Yeah. And like pretty much every single grave has like some of them are kind of buried under undergrowth, some of them are a couple of them have been like knocked under the toppled over headstones, but like if you take some time to investigate, you'd see pretty much every single one has at least a couple of these long, like needling piercings.
How what's the diameter of this piercing?
Very thin.
How big of a hole is it?
Like you could kind of like barely insert your pinky claw into one of them a little ways in.
Are they still the same shape?
Probably a bunch of them are like decayed and collapsed a little bit because they are just in dirt, but they're all round.
Okay, that's a creepy and interesting discovery. Easy to miss.
Yeah. It's definitely something that contextually might have been something like one person found it on one grave already, but then you come back and it's like, oh no, actually this is on all of them.
So she makes a note of that, draws some pictures, and brings that back as well.
Yeah, and as for the headstones themselves, you don't find too much of interest actually on them in terms of like names and dates and stuff. It's all basically what you'd expect. Citizenry from the past century or two from prior to Redshift.
Well, I mean, thinking about the one boss that we destroyed, the paper boss, kind of makes me wonder what else could have made those holes in the ground. Especially such a uniform shape, and that's really creepy, disturbing.
So I would consider the three of you guys having spent your downtime doing all that fun roleplay stuff. Go ahead and give yourselves how many are we up to now? Actually, I think we're at library X equals current level. Give yourselves 4d4 mental dice for today.
4d4 mental dice.
So just as a reminder, you can use them on any intelligence, wisdom, or charisma check that you want, including attack saving throws. And you can use as many of them as you want in a single roll. You just have to decide if you're going to do them before you do the roll.
Added.
And they go away at the end of the session. So use them.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hero points.
So
Jedi Edge.
We are approaching the end of this week's Redshift, as it generally pans out. Like I said, it is the 5th of Idus, and in terms of dialogue you've had with the Brigadier, she has made a suggestion to you all that the next thing we should be doing is, and I'll pull up our world map for context because she'd be discussing some of it. There we go.
The House of Worship.
Yeah, thanks Roll20 for spoiling the world map. I'm sure it really liked loading all those hexes.
There we are.
I should put like a black world map on top of it, and then make that go away after it's loaded a few seconds.
Oh,
It's far too late for that, though.
No, you're very clever, though.
I like the loading screen. That's a good idea.
So, first of all, there's now a established path between Keep Silex and Orvis, which will help you guys travel quickly if you ever want to go that way. But the Brigadier basically says that there are a few things that we need to do that will get us further northeast. We need to continue building lesser obelisks out in places we can find that are viable. And we need to find locations like Orvis, like Fort Maricus, where we can proceed with the full company and continue making our basis of operations. So I was of a mind, based on your last report, to send a team up to that temple that you found, possibly set up an obelisk there. But I am also interested in this fort that you all have found on the coastline. What can you tell me about that?
It was in pretty poor condition and is on the eroding water line, so I don't know how long it's actually going to stick around.
That was this guy, right?
Part of it was...
Yes.
Part of it was covered in some kind of toxic looking goo, so it'll take a little bit of effort to clean that up. I don't know if it's something I can just wash away or if it will take a little bit more effort. I don't recall if it was the same sort of toxic goo as we saw in the river. I don't think so.
Yeah, the river pollution was primarily purple and murky. The stuff that you saw, that you got a glimpse of in that fort, was generally green and viscous and mucusy.
And
if I remember, it didn't radiate evil the way the did.
Well, there were a bunch of giant toads in there. In fact, some of them appeared to be dead, either recently or long dead. But there were some just kind of hopping around in there. I think it would probably be maybe worth sending some scouts to check it out. I mean, we could probably kill all the stuff in there, but I feel like that would. I think some of our tougher scouts would be able to handle it.
All right.
Those giant toads, and if the slime actually happens to be sentient, well, they can come back and we'll handle it.
Frog bonfires.
Very well. I will see if we have anybody who would volunteer to go fully investigate this site. The other item is that those reports of that unusual spire off the coast.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my interest.
It certainly has my curiosity, and I am worried that it could pose a threat at some point.
I want to know what's up with the Sea Spire.
We don't have a small boat and a wagon available, do we?
Boat wagon.
No, we would need a location that Nami could build and launch a boat from. I've spoken to them about it, and they've said if we can prepare any kind of dock situation.
Well, has anyone ever taken the river down to this point?
Ping that again.
Here.
Yeah.
As far as the river through the swamp goes, it's a little bit difficult to navigate with the type of boat that you need to take out into the ocean over there.
The sea, yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, maybe best for us to, like, I don't know, travel overland and find a good site to build a place where we could ship a boat from, so to speak.
I mean, if that's going to be the goal, then we could probably revisit that fort and see if we could
Were there
potentially reinforce the because it was right on the water line. So
right, were there like docks there?
If we do that, we might as well clear it out.
That's true.
That's fair enough.
But I agree. If we can find an alternative on the north coastline or even the south coastline, that would be viable too.
That's actually something that's kind of been of interest to me is the idea of going south all the way to the coast. I don't know that our ships have been able to get that far, or been able to map it out for us. So at least
so out of world, the trick with that is as the redshift is a circle. So if you envision Fort Maricus and the left side of the map as the edge of that circle, then the actual circle itself would extend quite a ways into the ocean south of the coastline. So like
what's a redshifted Leviathan look like?
So any boat would find it a little difficult to actually, like, they could probably like sneak up to the coastline and then like veer back off and sneak back up to the coastline and veer back off, and they'd have to be at sea probably for a while and managing this very carefully to avoid getting caught in the redshift. It's something that could be done in theory.
Like redshifted people and their ships. Like we've seen the redshift like blend people with their tools.
Sure have.
So
killed
like,
one of those boys.
Creepy.
Yeah, creepy. What about a Flying Dutchman that has the crew built right in?
That doesn't sound pleasant.
No, it doesn't.
You getting this, sir? Write these down.
I honestly wonder if we do go all the way down the coast, if we're able to find a structure there potentially, then that might be a little bit better, because that would give us a little bit more ocean access as well and give us a new route.
It's an interesting idea. All of that really begins with finding a place to build a boat.
Right.
Nami has promised me they could build a small skiff within 2 weeks, given the materials and the site for it.
I suppose one of the main challenges is also going to be just being able to build in the sort of swampy muck here and having something that's going to be semi-permanent.
Yes, we would have to find a relatively dry location or a pre-existing one, which is why I suggest.
Well, building a dock isn't really hard. You could actually do it with any lumber laying around right in that location, but having to port over land some kind of a vehicle, a boat.
Yes, this would be a situation where we would establish
There are four of
an
us,
obelisk,
and you're
upon the
not
coast.
small, young lady.
The biggest.
This boat will have to be at least will have to be of some size because we're going to be tackling ocean-sized waves with
it would have to
at
it would have to
least.
basically be like a pretty decent sized sailboat.
25 foot, 20 foot.
Yeah, something like that.
What
I
did
mean,
we end
maybe
up?
get away
What
with
did we
15,
end up
maybe.
using to cross the water in when we went to that island?
That was a rowboat basically that you guys set up. Oh no, I'm
We all
sorry.
fit in
You
that.
The
you
one in the
did
north
not,
was the rowboat. The one
you did not
on the
retrieve
island
the
was the
rowboat.
ice boat.
You created a raft.
Oh, that's right.
And I can
That
make
was
a much better
manifested.
one than I did before.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's ocean worthy.
No, probably not.
Right, and the
it's
challenge
good for
with the
lakes,
water
maybe
walking
rivers.
is that it only lasts an hour. So
Yeah.
well, I
after
mean,
an hour, we all fall in the
You
water.
get about half of one of those hexes out there.
Right.
Yeah, those are big. Remember, those are days.
Oh, 6 miles, but yeah. Yeah, like if you had like a day or 2 days of water walking, you could go there and back from
Sure.
the coast.
Well, if they're 6 miles, the average human gait is about 2.5, 3 miles an hour.
Yeah, you guys
I
get
walk 3.
24 miles a day is your.
See,
your
there you go. That's about
average.
right. That's out. Okay.
Well, I just wonder if it's possible we could create a dock so it's not so bad, standing in the muck and kind of avoiding whatever's in the shallow water there. But, I don't know if there's enough lumber to actually make a raft. But we need some.
well, there's that wooded area just nearby.
Yeah, if we are able to produce a coastal obelisk, then we have the resources and the labor to build what we need.
So it sounds like what we really need to do is clean that fortress out and see if we can't make it a base of operations, or pick some other place on the coast where we can build an obelisk.
Yeah, I feel like if we go investigate what's left of that fort, clear it out, it's going to be the best place to set up a coastal operation nearby. Honestly, I mean, it's better than starting from scratch.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Of course. If you all believe you can range further than that, this is all secondary to finding a northerly obelisk location.
Well, do we have to seek some place that has a natural tendency?
Our
Can
preference
we fake it till we make it?
Our preference so far has been to utilize existing structures. We've been lucky enough that they've existed in locations that are easy enough to fortify and conquest, in the cases of the previous two, steal them from someone else.
Melty piano tree.
But if
That inspired another whole subchapter in my epic, by the way. It's a whole other song. The song's just about capturing the melted piano.
Yep.
if you find a natural site that is easily defensible, easily fortifiable, could be converted into a camp with a little bit of effort.
Did he say
that
fortified? A fortified location?
One that could be easily done, so like a valley, perhaps, that you could build some walls on either side and have a safe camp.
I think, Dex, you should probably check the temple in the north and investigate it for yourself, because I wonder if we're able to rededicate the statues to the gods and kind of reactivate it, rebuild it, if it will actually produce
Serve that
sort of
purpose.
aura or protection of its own, kind of like Tilda's
Intriguing.
house.
Yes.
Intriguing.
That would save
It
us
would
an
not surprise me
obelisk.
at all.
The grandmother had to. She used parts of an obelisk as well, but she was also able to channel it to such a degree that she was able to produce protection for a large swath of her forest, far more than the usual 200 feet or so radius that you get.
Right.
So natural powers like that are viable.
It could very well be that we just need to repair and rebuild it, and then he'll be able to the temple itself will be able to amplify the power of just a small obelisk to cover the entire structure, and then some.
Yeah,
Or
you mean
just-
the House of Worship,
It
right?
might not even need that, and just add the teleport.
It's still that's still very far away from where we would have to build a boat.
Right, but we're talking about for an additional one in the north. That was the
Yes,
other objective.
Yeah.
regardless of whether we do go to sea.
I have
The
a sneaking
tower is
suspicion that spire does something like remarkable.
far northeast of us, and so northeast is where we must go.
Well, the that fort's only a day's travel for us, considering the methods that we have.
Yeah, we managed to range pretty far last time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we could easily get over there, check it out, and if it's
Assess the situation.
able to be cleared out easily, we'll even be able to come back in time to start helping bring supplies over.
All right, then. I will lead you to it. Oh, and before you go, you might want to talk to Maisie. She's told me she's handled those lizard friends of hers.
Yeah, I was going to
quite
ask
well
about
for
that.
us.
Maisie, handle your lizards, you.
So you go to Maisie, and she will happily inform you that she has formed a very friendly alliance with these lizards, and convinced basically all of them to come move over to the Thesbridge.
Nice.
Where they're close enough to Orvis and the Commission that you've achieved your promise of tribal safety. They have. She tells you. In the end, I was able to promise protection and occasionally food if they need it. They like fruit. They really like fruit. And they agreed that in exchange for us helping them out with this, they would be willing to wear saddles and let people ride them out into the swamp that they can. So these are very large, large size lizards.
Long legs, right?
They've got 6 really long legs that kind of spider through the wet portions and the muck of the swamp. So they're basically tall enough that it keeps their whole body above the water if they want to.
Dope.
They've got long curling tails, and they've got like a narrow, almost like a proboscis-like tongue that will shoot out and like wrap around individual fruits and apples and whatnot and slurp them. You watched one of them devour an entire barrel when you first recruited them. A saddle for one of these creatures can comfortably fit 1 humanoid. You can squeeze 2 if you want, but otherwise one assumes it would be occupied with your gear. And riding these creatures, which, as far as you guys are concerned, you have reserved 1 each, basically, at any time you want. And riding these creatures will let you move at normal speed in the swamp. So you would be able to once again go 24 miles a day, not difficult terrain anymore.
Awesome.
All right.
And I would like to note that while you guys did have a conversation with them using the powers of animal speak and whatnot, they are, in fact, beasts. They are clever enough to stick around you guys as a horse would if you were to leave it standing in a location, or just like lashed to a tree somewhere.
Wait a second. Beasts? Like, Naya can transform into them beasts?
What?
Yeah, that should be viable.
Alright. You got
It's like,
a new form.
Naya, get a load of this. Get a load of this guy. Check it out. That's a beast. What do you think about that? She's like, He goes, beast. What do you think about it? As it dawns on her.
I think we've kind of been slacking off on it, but I think Naya's had plenty of
Exposure to
beasts.
various monsters.
Yeah, let me think.
Can she turn into a paper creature?
No, that's not a beast.
They're mimics.
Naya, do you remember any?
What about the insect monster or the fire snake?
No, I can't turn it into anything that is a monster, quote unquote. I can turn into ordinary beast.
Yeah, anything that has the beast type. So
Well,
no,
there's only,
no monstrosities, no
3 or 4.
apparitions, no elementals.
No gargantuan glimmering worms?
Right.
Is that a beast?
I don't know. I'm just looking at the
That'd be
foes.
too high CR.
Yeah, it's way too high CR, but I think a purple worm is actually a beast.
So if you get strong enough, you can become a purple worm?
It might be a monstrosity.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I have 4 or 5 on my list, but
That'd be
that's
pretty
it.
sick.
maybe
You were like
Circle
super
of
high
the Moon
level.
at a high
You were
level
like,
could
fuck
do
it,
that.
I'm purple worming you.
Yeah.
Does the compendium not have the worm in it?
Go all Dune.
Which compendium?
The Roll20 monster manual.
It ought to?
Wait, is it spelled with an O? It's spelled with an O. My bad.
Oh, okay.
I was mad at Roll20 for no reason. Yeah, those are monstrosities. Yeah, you can't turn into them. So let me see, because I'm looking through some of this stuff for what
Giant
you
toad? Giant toad, perhaps?
encountered. Has Naya encountered the giant toads?
Yes,
If
Yeah.
not, she will. Yeah.
and we ran away quickly.
Yes. We did. I remember thinking, well, that was probably wise.
No, if you're talking about the giant toad from last time, that was no toad.
That was what?
That's no toad.
Yeah, I'm just looking through some of our old monsters.
Yeah, it was me and Elvis Diver that saw the giant toads that one time. I don't remember. I think the
Yeah,
other
well,
times
Were
we
this
were
about it
attacked,
last
it was mostly death bugs.
No,
Well-
I can't do death bug.
I feel like I was with you when you went to the that fort.
You were not Embergreen, because I remember it was
No.
just Alvis and Nimbus.
Okay.
When you
Then
went up the river, were there any creatures there? Or were
that's right.
there-
I was with you when you went
No.
to Multi Piano.
Those were all horrible swamp muck monsters. You have seen a dire wolf, actually, at this point.
Damn.
What's the max CR that you can do, Aya?
I'd have to look it up. Just a second.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I want to say it's a max CR of 1, and you can do amphibious
Let's
creatures.
see.
Yeah, and I think I might have gotten flight.
No, flight's at 8.
Oh, okay. So I got swim at 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can get swimming monsters now. I think we accidentally gave you a swimming monster without realizing it. Like, I think your constrictor snake has it, but it's fine. We didn't use it.
It doesn't matter because now that I have water walk, I don't need to go underwater
Yeah.
unless there's some reason.
Well, you might want to be
Um,
stealthy. Maybe you want to act like a fish. We've seen those fish that fly around in the
Okay.
air. Can you turn into one
So-
of those?
So your max CR is currently 1/2, actually.
Oh, so you can only be little things.
Yeah, so it's mostly because you're a land druid instead of a moon druid. Were you a moon druid, you would have much more wild shapes available to you. You'd get stronger. You'd be able to use it more often and that sort of thing.
What about the cursing bird?
That was a crow.
She could be a crow.
So
Yeah, once I
no,
get to be high
but
enough,
you
I can
can't
turn
turn
into
into
a
it.
bird.
you can't turn
pretty
into
sure
a
you-
bird because you can't have a flying speed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I can't turn into a fey dragon either because I'm not big enough.
Oh.
No, because even Ruby, he's not a beast. Even he's just a fae.
Yeah. But if you
Right.
saw a fish, you could become the fish.
If you see fish, you can become fish now. Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
Well, that's a neat trick.
I mean, isn't it possible that Naya's seen giant toads throughout her life?
Well, we
Maybe that's
established like the initial 10 as
Gotcha.
like the monster.
Well, she has done the dating, so
Fair enough.
Let me just double check.
Actually, she hasn't.
Oh, really? See, I was wondering if that was going to land or not.
Well, I landed because I understood what you were saying, but she actually has not done the dating
Nope.
because she left home a week before her 15th name.
Oh, dude, she didn't even get her quinceanera.
She got nothing.
Dragon
Dragon
Quinceanera.
Wait. Is
quinceanera?
Naya a dragonborn only?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
What?
You made the dungeon master clap and say, "Oh shit!" That's like level up.
I just need to know these things about people and their characters because
You knew this. She is pure silver dragonborn.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense contextually that she would only want to bang another silver dragonborn.
Well, she could bang any other dragonborn. It's just, she spent a lot of years in training with other druids, not other dragonborn.
Right. She never got filthy with any of them, which is probably for the best.
She's never done anything like that. She's
Wow.
like your little Virgo intacta dragonborn over there who's completely fucking clueless.
Wow, but a druid though, so you've studied it in all other animals.
Right. So she knows it's there. She just hasn't had anything come up for herself.
Right. Perspective
Doesn't
mates
count
are
if
rare.
you're wild shaped.
Ooh, wow. I will say for the second time.
All right. I was looking through my fucking list of monsters that we've encountered.
See, it's a thread.
Yes. Naya, were you at the event where we saw a hydra sleeping and collected some plants?
No.
Okay.
You weren't with us
Sleeping.
when we went down to the bottom of the river?
Sleeping Hydra.
I remember hearing about it.
The
and
Hydra Thistle.
I think I listened to the stream, but I wasn't there.
Yeah. Okay. There was also a.
I've seen some interesting other things, but they're all monsters. They fall in the category of monster, so I can't.
There aren't that many beasts. It turns out.
No, I think we added Axebeak,
Yeah.
and we added. I can go ahead and make a note about the direwolf, but every other thing has been some kind of redshifted weirdo.
So
or
I
a
actually
monster.
checked. You can't add a direwolf because it's too high CR, unfortunately.
Right, but I mean, when I get to be 8, I could add it.
Yeah. Also, you do already have the giant lizard in your list, and we had that in there just like already. But if you want to have like a secondary giant lizard, or if you just want to add like a stat to that giant lizard character sheet, where it's just like can walk good in swamp water, then totally feel free to do that because you could make it count as the giant lizards that we have. I'm basically just using those stat blocks for them.
Okay. What do we call them? Methods?
No, those are the little fire
Smoking
gremlins.
fire people, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay. What are these lizards called?
I've just been.
I don't remember.
Giant lizards. I don't think they had a name.
Oh, okay. I'll make a note.
Please make a note of it.
I mean, what do they call themselves?
I'd say that word,
That
but
is
you actually can't make that word with. You can't use the human vocal cords to actually, and then your ears probably won't hear all of the intonations.
Yeah. Okay. So Amber Green can DM the rest of this session because he gets how it works.
I'm not prepared, sir. I don't have my notes. This is your world.
What?
No, but
Listen,
see, I'm a bard, so like you asked this question, this is like this. I got that answer.
that was your no notes required narration. Okay. I've got to refresh my page because Roll20 is lagging.
Roll20.
So,
That's
we're
what I
about ready to.
I am Mephit, and you asked me my name.
We're about ready to venture out. Yeah.
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 Okay. So everybody can smack the long rest button if you haven't. Fill up to your 3 rations for the day, for the week rather. Basically, the way this will work in terms of luggage and lizards is, I'd just like you guys to keep in mind, if you're carrying extra shit and you're trying to not be encumbered or whatever, consider what you have on your friendly lizard. There's plenty of pack space for you. They're pretty big animals, and they can carry a lot. So anything you've got in your inventory, you can fit on them, your tent, your whatever.
Cool.
Of course, if you abandon your lizard all of a sudden for some reason and jump into a cave, I would like you all to note what you bring with you and that sort of thing, because it might be left on the lizard if you are careless. So that'll be up to you guys to handle. And then in terms of what happened to the font of all of my text on this map? It's only... No, it's everything. What happened? I just refreshed the page and it's all different now.
Oh, that's fun.
Do you guys see it?
Well, it looks the same to me.
Yeah, all the text I see on this map is like a melty piano is in, I don't know, some sans serif like Arial or something, but everything else is
sort of yellow.
Yeah, it's just yellow text. Bold, maybe a little bit italic.
Oh, you know what it is? I think maybe Firefox is just like, oh, we don't like it anymore. Let's try refreshing again. Let's see what happens. It turned into like Times New Roman all of a sudden.
You know the type. Nice, so a serif.
Yeah,
serif.
not what I wanted. Also, I wish I could do text on a black border text.
I guess I shouldn't use
here.
horse noises because we're not riding horses, we're riding lizards.
You can define what noises you'd like them to make.
I should use these Jungle Planet dinosaur noises like, I'll find a good one.
But they're like
that.
They, based on how I've described them so far, I think they'd like whistle.
Thanks, Verde. In fact, I got a compliment on this T-shirt in the grocery store today. This woman in front of me in line turned to me and smiled, and I smiled, and she said, "I like your T-shirt." And I said, "Yeah, it's a Tron joke." And she said, "Yeah, I like it." Went back to her shit. They would whistle? That's cool. I got whistles. That's great.
Yeah. It would be like a very tonguey whistle, like whether they kind of like wetly blowing into a flute.
Oh, cool. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, yeah, I was just going to say, if we're about to head out, now's a good time for a bathroom break and things.
Yep.
So if anybody wants
Word.
to go get their refills and whatnot, we'll be back in
AFK.
a few minutes.
Friends and neighbors, it is time for the bathroom break. Hi. I'm on wall. We're going big head. Except I can't do the bonk kitty if I go big head, so instead, I'm going to go show instead. Again, now we're going to go bonk kitty. See you in a minute. You should Yeah. Oh, it's hard. It's subtle. Okay. Yeah, I had to bring it out of the bottle. It's like gross. Well, yeah, the ghost is always made that. They're always that. It's not good.
I'm back.
Welcome to the Red Party. That's so ironic. Wait, I got all fast. Proceed to party. Song called Reds. I'll get you up. Proceed to party. Let's have a party. What? Yeah, that's another thing. Right. Uh-huh. That's okay. Hear my echoing life as I sing. It's cool. We're good. You know what's funny? It's not my mic. My mic is muted. My mic is not. Wow. So, no. You know what it is? My mic. Oh, I have your stream running. That's funny. And the Discord runs anyway. Y'all get to hear what life's like? Skyward West. Singing country songs. Anyway, that meetup. Well, first sip was good. Like I said, just really light. Like I said, kind of subtle. How many devices in my house? Oh, so many. Seriously though, I had muted my mic's input to OBS, but not muted my mic's input to Discord. Thus,
Oh, perfect.
Well, and further, I had turned my Discord feed onto my speakers so that I could hear you guys talk while I got my drum.
correct. Hence, I could bounce it all the way through the house and right back into the stream. Hi, everyone. That's what my life's like when I'm on bio.
All right, then. Are we
All
ready?
right, I'm back.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I think everybody's ready then, so we can head out as soon as you guys are good to go. And I'll leave it to you to manage your movements.
All right. First move, free. Second move.
Yeah. So actually, you guys are going through Thesbridge and stuff, so this is mostly free coming out of Orvis.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have you make one roll for those two spaces, and what I'll also do is, because you guys kind of have a path built, we'll use the move at double speed rule for any of these roads. So sorry, it wasn't quite double speed, but it was like you'll get there a little bit faster.
Yeah.
I'll have it so that you can get to this location before Sunday.
Very cool.
All right then. So a 7 is just fine. So yeah, with your new mounts below you, it doesn't take you long at all to get across the swamp. Areas you've already been before for the most part, and make your way to this fort on the coastline. Grab a map for us. have to delete Albus Tavern from it. Okay, here we are. You guys should be getting vision shortly as I drag your tokens in. Would you like to come from the southwest? That seems like it would be most sensible.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember what we had scouted as the safest way in. Then at the same time, everything's probably shifted since then.
Right. So, yeah, what I can tell you as a reminder is that you explored this building a little bit. It has a lot of collapsed walls that are kind of the situation where, like, the ceiling's collapsed in. You could probably clamber over it if you really wanted to, but there's plenty of open spaces, doorways, collapsed walls as well that you can get through. There is a stair down to a basement level that you found in the southwest corner. That was the only stair that you found.
Right.
There's a courtyard in the center, and the roof, like I said, is mostly intact, and aside from a few spots where it's collapsed in on itself. And then there are several hallways off on this, like that kind of jut out into the sheer cliff, where you can also get into, but they're maybe like 10 feet down, maybe 15 if you were to put feet on the floor.
Yeah. Badath kind of looked through those before and saw they were kind of hallways and what was in them a bit.
Yeah, basically. And one thing I would like to note for people who haven't been here before, this spot on the coastline, rather than a smooth like beach adjacent to the sea, you instead have a cliff that almost looks like it was like cleaved off by a knife.
Really?
Like you just cut butter through the land, and
sculpted.
And the stream that flows next to this structure is interesting in that when it hits the cliff here, rather than forming a small waterfall down to the sea, as one might expect, it instead like launches itself in a spiraling flume shape up and over into the sea a little ways before finally landing maybe 50, 100 feet out, and then forming this kind of waterfall structure that you'd expect just after a snaking cylinder of water through the air. It doesn't go like up or down very much. It's kind of like on ground level, basically. But floating in the air.
All right. Well, how do we want to begin?
Honestly,
I have a question. Nimbus, was this the place? Did you find frogs inside here?
Yes.
Okay, so that's something we need to be aware of. Those big, yucky frogs. Yeah, they're no joke, and they were inside this building. So we'll have to clear that.
I can have Badath scout real fast to kind of locate where they're at approximately, so at least we aren't taken by surprise. So if I just kind of bring him around this way.
Yeah. So here, I will allow you to. Are you going to send Badath indoors or up above to the courtyard again?
Probably first through and around some of the doorways, considering he's got flyby, technically, unless something is has an action ready to attack, they're not really able to attack him.
Yeah, okay. That's fine, and he can get through pretty much any opening that you'd see in here.
So he sees that thing.
Yeah, so what you can see is similar to last time. Obviously, it's a little worse for the couple of weeks that it's been by now. The basically like an exploded corpse of what looks like a toad.
Ew.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
It's right inside the door?
Yeah.
Nice.
That one had been exploded. And then... let me pan over this way without Roll20 crashing.
Yeah, you guys can feel free to move your characters within reason. I'll tell you if you go somewhere illegal.
Okay.
Is that the exploded frog over there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a live frog. That's a dead frog.
Shit.
Oh,
AFK.
Party foul. Spilled a beer.
Oh, damn.
That's alcohol abuse, man.
So the one straight ahead from the door is an exploded and dead toad?
yeah. It's like
Okay. All right, thank you.
clearly long been dead. Like
Okay.
the
So
decaying corpse.
Does it smell in here like it ought to?
Oh yeah, it's gross. It's the worst. It's not like Orvis where like there might have been some dead stuff, but like there were no bugs or anything for while the Aragamne was there. No, here is not protected by such a terrible creature and horrible magical aura. And there are lots of swamp bugs to enjoy.
So this place is full of decay.
Correct, very much so.
Lovely.
Nothing you couldn't power wash.
Right. And what's the height of this cliff compared to the height of the water? I mean, how high up are we?
Maybe a little under 20 feet to the water line, and then like 10, 15 to the actual. So like there's those hallways that are the basement level. So if you went down about 10 feet, you'd probably be able to put foot on ground there.
Okay.
You can. I don't know if you can see them from where you are, but you could see like the openings on the cliffside.
No, I can't.
Where are you going, pal?
I haven't entered.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not going very far. I was just trying to get a look at the coast.
Can you see past the bricks here?
Yeah, just a little bit. They do block line of sight, just not around the edges.
Oh yes, that's right. That is how I did that. Okay. Yeah, like I said, if you guys want, you can always clamber over those.
Okay.
It wouldn't be too difficult.
Is that one alive?
That is something that is distinctly not a toad, but it is also in a similar state of decay. You see sharp teeth and harsh ribs between scales as the flesh has decayed away.
Can I tell how this frog died? Was it killed or did it die and rot?
Give me a medicine check, if you like.
Oh, all right. Hold up.
That is an intelligence, so...
We'll see. I have to load my character sheet real quick. Or not real quick, because it's Roll20, but, real Roll20 quick. There it is. Medicine. Do I got no medicine? Oh, a +4 in medicine. Fuck yeah. That's wisdom, actually.
Oh, it is wisdom. Okay, well, that you've still got those D4s, too, if you really
roll
want
that
those.
shit. Oh, yeah. We'll see. Yep, too late. What I roll?
Reroll. Do-overs.
It was you know what? You would have wasted your D4s on that.
I would have wasted my D4. Yep.
Yeah, that's
stinky.
That's pretty much trash.
Yep. I don't know. Looks like it died.
Yeah, you could tell this thing's been dead for a few weeks.
Maybe it's been dead for a while.
Which definitely agrees with what Nimbus has reported. But the state it's in, you can't. It could have been anything.
Yeah, I don't know how this one died. I think it got sick. Frog flu. What are these rocks? Do they block?
They're like collapsed portions of the ceiling that have taken down a lot of the structure with them. But so you can imagine like a skylight where those have fallen, and they're stacked up maybe 5 feet high. So again, this is a situation where if you want to, you can climb over them. But it just if we were in combat, that would be difficult terrain for you.
I see. Oh, I see now that they're a dead thing. Dead icons.
Yes. Yeah.
Is this one
I'm
alive?
gonna climb to here.
Which
Those
one,
are
Naya?
stairs down.
Okay, so Naya, peeking through that doorway, you can in fact see a large toad, kind of chilling out in the soft dirt that's in the courtyard there.
Okay.
And it does not appear to be this disease, this destroyed, bloated mess similar to the other one. And you watch closely, and just occasionally it'll flick out its tongue and latch onto a large mosquito. Go back.
Okay, so that one's alive.
You guys. I say. You guys, there's like a stairway down over here, and another like dead ass beast. I don't know how they died though. They dead ass, dead, as the kids might say. Probably wouldn't though.
Do they say that?
Well,
Do the dwarf kids say that?
Ass. Some of the dwarf kids dead ass do say that. I'm trying to pick it up. I'm trying to incorporate the lingo so that my epic rock opera is still hip and relevant to the kids.
Next time you talk to Ferris, ask her what the hip lingo is in her era.
I will. I'll have to do that.
It'll be like retro.
Also, you guys said
how much does
there's a
common
living
change?
frog in there. What are we going to do about that?
How much does
We're going to
common
have to
change?
take that out. They're just nasty. We'll have to make sure that everybody's ready.
To answer that question, you guys are basically, in terms of speaking common, in the eras that you have seen, in these flashback events, it basically amounts to, wow, you guys have a weird accent. Where are you from?
Yeah, we're from the alternate timeline.
So I see the dead one back there. There's the live ones in the middle, of course.
How hard were these to kill, Nimbus?
Oh, they were already dead.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't actually kill one?
Nope. We only scattered.
Aside from their familiars, they did not enter the building.
So
What's the coastline look like in here? Didn't you already ask that?
peering
Montlarn?
over the top there?
Yeah, it looks like it's been cut. Like,
That's right, like with a butter knife,
yeah.
carving away, like maybe with a laser. If I don't have that concept, but
Yeah, or like if,
But,
you know, somebody
to
like...
me, it would seem like someone had cut it away with a knife, like from butter or lard.
Right, or like if a superhero had decided to pick up a chunk of the earth and fly away with it.
Gotcha.
So it basically looks like there's just the one that's alive up there. If I remember correctly, there are some other ones down below, but they'll have a hard time getting up here.
That is correct. So yeah, you guys can move as you desire.
In fact, I guess while Nimbus was, or not, Badath was down there, was he able to kind of see where they were at in the hallways? Just kind of peeking in.
Did you send them down below?
Yeah, I
Oh
would
shit!
have.
I can just see that guy now.
what Badath would have seen below right now, taking a peek down there, is just glancing in the hallways. He would see similar green slime.
Excuse me,
puddles.
not shield. That's not the spell I meant to click on. That's the one I meant to click
Oh,
on.
mage armor. Yes.
Okay, I'm sketching what this dude looks like right now. Writing my own poetic description. I'm writing
green
it
slime puddles in those hallways. Very similar to how you left it in this.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm committing all of this to some piece of scrap that I have. But I carry around a book to write all this shit in.
Yeah, obviously.
So I'm kneeling at the wall going, you guys, look at this.
Well, if we're going to fight it, this would be a good time to try activating those gauntlets.
Who, me?
Oh, you don't have
No,
to.
me.
I ain't got no gauntlets.
Yeah, I don't think those are in my character sheet.
Oh, well, they didn't end up there for some reason, but I assure you.
Did we not add them?
Yeah, I know. We've talked about them a couple of times. I'm actually just surprised they're not in my sheet.
Yeah.
All right. Let me remind you what they do.
Giant growth on the hands and arms things get an extra size and size strength upgrade for lift, carry, push and stuff, right?
No shit.
Correct.
They're literally Garnet's fucking weapon.
Haven't watched that.
No, but they are. Dude, snipe.
Effectively, you are able to cast the enlarge spell localized on your hands.
So, yes, Bet Monty, they are literally fucking Garnet's weapon.
Page not found, excuse me.
All right, I can work with that.
Page not found when I look in the compendium
That's hilarious
for
to
enlarge
me.
reduce.
That's awesome. I like it. Yeah, if you've ever seen the show, what she does when she's about to fight is she goes, and both of her hands become like triple size, big ass, punch you in the fucking face fists.
Oh, this is shit. Alright, so the enlarge reduce spell is not in Roll20 anymore. That's super cool.
Isn't it just in Player's Handbook?
Yeah, but I don't have that sitting next to me. I found it, don't worry. Here you go. Toss that in there. So concentration up to 1 minute. I would say these gloves additionally subvert the need for concentration. The target size doubles in all dimensions. Its weight is multiplied by 8. It increases its size by 1 category. So your hands would turn from medium to large, which also, for reference, would mean like if you wanted to do a grapple against a large creature, you'd be able to with these gauntlets because your hands are bigger.
So dope. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Fuck yeah, man.
Until the spell ends, the target has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. So for this would apply to anything you'd logically be using your hands to do. The target's weapons also grow to match the new size, and you deal an extra 1d4 damage with those things. So basically, you can, like I said, enlarge spell on your hands, no concentration required, lasts up to 1 minute. I think we said you can use it like once or twice per day.
I want to say it was 3 times.
Might have been 3 times per long rest.
Yeah, 3 times per long rest. That sounds right.
Obviously, can only cast on yourself. You can't cast it on other creatures.
And it's whatever's in your hands at the time that you use it that gets enlarged.
Correct. Yeah. So if you have your sword, then it will
Yeah.
get bigger and do that extra damage.
Unfortunately, your shield doesn't get an extra plus.
Yeah, it's just damage stuff. Target's weapons grow, not the...
Well, isn't it everything in their hands, or is it just their weapon?
Technically, it only says... Oh, wait, no. Everything it is wearing and carrying changes size with it. Okay.
Nice. So it's your sword. It's your...
Any item dropped by an affected creature returns to normal size at once. So if you drop your sword, it goes back to normal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it would be a large shield for a normal-sized person, but I can see how it'd be just as awkward as it is useful.
Yeah, because like your whole body isn't bigger. So like you're using a shield that's normally like a kite shield, but all of a sudden it's like twice the size of a regular kite.
Right.
So now it's a tower shield.
Right.
Yep, makes sense. All right.
How much do they weigh?
The gloves?
Yeah.
I just put them down. It's like 1.
Okay, cool.
That would be. Sometimes I'm dumb. Dummy.
What'd you do?
I wanted to put a GIF up in the old fucking chat channel there, but I realized, and instead I tried to save the image because GIF, it's animated GIF, and if you don't like actually upload an animated GIF, you don't get the animation, right? Yeah, but it's a chat channel. Just got to be a link, dude. Just got to be a link.
No, upload the paste the full image because I don't have time in my life to click into a URL and see that.
Well, right, but if you're watching my chat channel on Twitch, I can't do that. I'm not allowed.
That's
to
correct. That's correct.
But I can because I am Omboa. Give you a link. So link is what you get. And I'm testing the link right now. It's garbage link, but it'll happen.
Can I like I need to learn how to multi-chat.
There it is. Boom. That's Mont Lauren's new power.
Hang on, put it in the Discord for me too. I want to see it.
Okay. All right, I will do it right now. Do it right now. Boom. Expeditionists, go! It's a link, though. It's a fucking link. See, in the chat channel, I could have pasted the goddamn GIF. Motherfucker.
Graphics.
No. Choosy programmers choose GIF.
Yes, I know. And so you end up with graphics.
Well, or George.
I've seen George spelled every single way. I feel like it's transliterated.
You have to understand that a lot of those words, graphics is not one of them, but a lot of other invented spelling. Old English really didn't have, like legit, what is Oldie English didn't actually have spelling conventions. It was, can you put the characters in a way that make the word. And they had a thorn. You know what a thorn is? We ain't got no thorn. It's why we think that you used to have signs that said oldie. We didn't. They had a thorn in them.
Well, Lauren, excellent. You might just want to include a note that's 1 minute no concentration and 3 times per long rest. Somewhere on that item. I think that'll keep you covered.
Actually, like my second GIF is better because it's way more what you do. Oh, it's like that, is it?
Yeah, those are roughly double size.
Yeah, that's her. Like that's why I said you described it, and I was like, shit, that's Garnet's power, man. That's her primary weapon. Is make my fist so big when I punch you, it punches all of you.
Cool. Well, I guess everybody getting.
Well, yeah. If you guys are getting in a fight, it would be initiative time.
If
that's what we're doing.
If that's what we're doing, otherwise, is there?
Do we roll initiative, or does somebody try something to do an alpha strike? Like, are we going to try something?
That is part of initiative. But if you haven't been spotted yet, you may get you may cause the toad to be surprised.
So that's what I'm saying is if they cluster around me when I'm like guys, if they get around and I'm finished writing up my picture and shit, and I go, you know, hey, also Naya, get a good look at that. Is that a monster or is that a beast? Can you get it? Can you get that form memorized? What do you know about toads? And then
what's the answer, sir?
we should figure out how we're gonna alpha strike this. if we're gonna fight it, if we're just decided we're killing toads, then we should try to kill it before it knows we're here.
So I
build a
guess
large wooden
something
house.
Maya would know innately. These are above CR 1/2, unfortunately. So,
Okay. All right.
like, I guess you could put it in your list for later, because technically you've seen it now, but you wouldn't be able to turn into it now.
All right, should we roll initiative? And like, I can't actually see the battlefield from where I'm at, so
we should actually decide what we're going to do first. How are we going to attempt this? Like, who has a good? I can shoot it with my crossbow, but it's a light crossbow, or maybe I can try like a guiding bolt, which means anyone with a better weapon, could hit it harder. After I got
we have a narrow, kind of a narrow
we should take it by
aperture
surprise.
for ranged weapon. Nimbus, what can you tell us about these? You're the only one that's really seen them in action.
I haven't seen them in action. I've just seen them.
Okay,
Right.
so you just saw it and then you guys got the hell out of here?
Well, I wouldn't say we ran.
No, they
familiars
scoped the place and
scouted
went,
the
let's
area.
not fight.
Yeah, we decided we'd rather just continue scouting down the coastline, so we're
Right.
going.
So
I would say though,
we've seen it use its tongue, so we know it has a ranged in.
is there any way you can speak to beasts?
Yes, I think I have it set up. Just a second.
I wonder if we could learn from it instead of just killing it outright.
Oh, what an idea! I start writing. I could learn from the toad.
I have speak with animals prepared.
I also do because it's an oath spell. That said, before we get started, there's a thing I'd like to do to the three of you.
Oh, some sort of a preparatory ritual.
What's that, Mon Lauren?
I'd like to aid you in your efforts.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Oh, well, look at the lyrics I've written so far. What do you think about the toad and learning from the toad and what I've written
guys.
some couplets. I have some
So,
couplets here.
just letting you know, the way you add that to your character sheet is below the heart that has your hit points. There's a max hit points -0 thing. So put -5 in that.
Does that work?
It should.
Oh, you don't put it in the little bubble at the top?
Those are temp hit points, which are different from what you've done.
Right. Yep, got it. I have another spell that does that too.
So, now my HP are 32 -5.
Amber Green, can you tap long rest and see if that fills up to 37?
Oh, it does not.
It does.
Oh, it does.
Okay, that works. Okay, so yeah,
Fucking
-5 works in this character.
That is
So what
goddamn
are we supposed to
witchcraft,
do?
So you see that the max hit points below your heart
Yeah.
on your character sheet? It's got your max hit points -0. Put in -5 for the next 8 hours, and then you can. I wouldn't tell you to hit the long rest button. I just wanted to see if it would do it automatically. But just manually increase the heart to +5 as well. So whatever you're at, +5.
Dude, yeah, it worked. It worked with the long rest.
Yeah, the only reason I would say don't hit long rest is because I'll refill your spells and shit too. So.
Right, and I've already cast one, so.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I haven't cast yet. So.
Right. I don't actually get the 8 anyway, so for me, I don't need to do it regardless. But.
Oh yeah.
Plus, wait, where do I do it? You said below or above?
So the plus above the heart is temp HP, which is a different mechanic than this thing. Your hit point maximum is changing temporarily here, so you're actually doing a -5 on the bottom oval there.
Okay, so it's -5.
Yeah, and that'll set your max HP to +5.
It didn't.
Mine
You
didn't either,
have
but
to
you can
manually.
do it.
Yeah, you have to
Mine
manually
totally
do it.
did.
Oh,
That's
okay,
so
I
weird.
see.
Mine totally did.
Like that?
Well, no, Amber Green, because I had you hit long rest, but I don't want everybody else to hit long rest because that's
I get
a
it.
bad thing to do randomly.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, I didn't lose anything when I did.
No, you hadn't cast anything or anything like that yet. I just wanted to check with you if the minus negative worked on the sheet for the map.
Blew my mind.
All right. What's gonna help us here? Yeah, a lot of options.
What's the plan, gang?
Are we gonna try talking with it first, and if it decides just to attack, then I'll mob in and destroy it?
That's what I was
Attempting to
curious.
talk with it will let us let it know that we are here.
Right,
So we
that's
will lose
true.
the element of surprise.
Exactly. You might go, "Hey, frog," and froggies, and it might go, lunch," and then we're fucked.
Well, then we're just where we are right now, right?
Right. I'm so shiny.
Oh, it even
Or
puts
one
like
of
a
us
little
can just
plus
decide to
on your
fucking
guys'
shoot it.
health bars. Look at that.
Yeah, it does. That's hot. So, like, but we could also just decide maybe we're gonna hit it with something. But I have a light crossbow, or I have magics.
Yeah. Basically, if you guys do this right, you'll get surprise on this thing if you
That's
want
what
to
I'm
attack
thinking.
it outright.
I think surprise is a valid strategy for this.
Okay.
Like, I could guiding bolt it, for example, and if I guiding bolt it, any other thing you do afterwards gets a bonus.
All right. So yes, kindly initiative while you've got your token selected, everyone. And I will.
Is initiative the green one?
Initiative is your next to your speed.
Oh, that's right. I thought there was one I could click above.
Yeah,
my
just click the
token.
word initiative on your character sheet.
No, I know, but I thought I could do it by just my token.
Oh, Toad did bad.
It's actually
Wow.
silly that you can't now that you've mentioned it.
Well, so you have your red, green, and blue above you. I thought one. I don't know even why I thought that, but I felt like there was a way I could pull it off the token.
Yeah, no, it's HP, AC, and speed, I think, right?
Yeah. And then die roll.
Yeah, no, I meant the three colors on your character sheet. The red
Oh,
one's H.
Yeah.
Sorry, the red one is
HP.
speed. The green one is AC, and the blue one is HP.
That looks right to me.
I don't have any colors.
Click
you
on
guys
yourself.
have the fancy version.
When you click on your
Click on your token.
you see the
Oh,
three
the token. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. If you look on my stream, I'm doing it. I click on my token. Boop, boop, pops them up.
Okay, well, everybody rolled well, except for the Toad and Naya. So please go right ahead and take your turns.
Okay, so we're gonna coordinate. What are we gonna do? Someone gonna hold their time for a sec, or
Well, I'm all.
what should we do?
I'm pretty much all melee unless I throw this moderately delicate javelin filled with paralytic poison.
That might be wise to save that for now.
Yeah,
So Nimbus goes first, and that's going to be cast.
And yeah, he can cast. Yeah, exactly. Or he can say, "I think you should blank," and I'll hold. Right. And so, what are you gonna do, Nimbus? What's your idea?
I'm gonna move to here, so I have a line of sight. And the one to my right, we've determined is dead, correct?
That's correct.
Then from here, I'm going to load up a let's do an acid chromatic orb that I'm going to launch when everyone else is attacking with their attacks, or whenever the first attack comes in, to kind of launch it in at the same time, so they.
Okay, so you have cast
I
you have
see.
cast
So
a
you're
spell
gonna-
and it is ready to go.
That is
But you're
correct.
holding it.
Very good. Lauren, you're up. Oh, that's a good.
Okay,
Damage.
Nimbus.
Mhm.
Before I come around the corner here, what should I expect? I literally cannot see into that room right now.
There's a frog far in the corner. You're not quite gonna get to reach it this time.
Yeah, I get 5
If you've
tiles.
got something throwable, this might be a good time for it.
Yeah, the only thing I have is that paralytic poison. Which, I mean, I do have another vial of, so it's not like it's a massive waste if I throw it. I just feel like that might be useful later.
Right. I think that might be overdoing it for now.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to step into the room, try to make my way to a position that'll draw the enemy more towards our direction without actually getting it to engage you. How does
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, so this thing is already surprised. So like you guys are all doing this at once. So it's not.
So we're basically queuing our actions. We're
Yeah,
we're talking amongst each other and going, all right, when I say go, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah. It's not going to be unsurprised just by you walking in there anymore. So
Yeah, and then I'll reserve an attack for if it comes within range.
okay, Evergreen, you're up.
Sweet. These are 5 feet. I ask this every time.
They sure are.
Move 5, 10. I'm going to go here. Oh, shit, mama. Oh, it's
That
dead.
one's dead. Yeah.
So I come around the corner and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm cool, guys. I'm cool. My whole point is to duck around the corner here and hit this guy with Guiding Bolt.
Yeah. All right. Let's see it.
Spronk. What level can I make my Guiding Bolt? Make it level 2. Boosh. Give me some dice. That ain't the greatest roll in the world.
Wow.
Wow, dude.
What?
Hell of a hit.
I'm
23 damage, man.
Guiding Bolting.
Yeah.
That's what I do. In fact, what I actually did was go, see my enemy, you all go with right now. That's what I did.
Well, if that's the case, I'd be probably launching mine right before he gets his off.
Okay.
So
Very
be
good.
primed for the
So
next person.
23 and 14 is a total of 37 damage.
It also, next attack roll made against that target before the end of my next turn has advantage.
Yeah. So you guys have now magicked the shit out of this thing. So the two of you kind of came out of nowhere. It like looked at Montlarin, licked one of its eyeballs, and then was bombarded from both directions by immense magic and is now like reeling back on its hind legs as Badath and Naya are able to take their turns as well.
Badath is just hanging back.
Okay.
Flying thing, large tongue flinging critter, not a good combination.
I've had fun encounters with flying familiars and giant toads before. Naya, you're up.
Swap.
Okay, so I think we're gonna do.
You should just be able to get in that courtyard. And if you do an attack roll on that thing, it'll have advantage.
But if it's just something that does a saving throw, it'll resolve as normal.
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
Please roll it again because you have advantage.
Yay!
Cool. That's 11 with a green die that time. Yeah. Okay. So guiding bolt, acid ball, fireball, collectively blast the shit out of this thing. Naya, you scorch its underbelly, and it just flops over on its back. It's quite dead.
How much damage did we do?
A lot.
Well, I'm looking at, we started with what, 34?
Collectively, that was 48.
Okay, so the HP of these toads is sitting around 48.
Well, you chromatic orbed it.
Yeah, it did. That hit high on the damage, too.
Okay.
Right.
As the next round of combat starts, Amber Green, you hear a squeak from your right.
Squeak? What a squeak?
And the toad corpse adjacent to you begins writhing.
Oh no.
Ew.
Oh, shit.
And so basically what happens is one of its limbs starts wriggling independent of the rest of the body.
Gross.
And then the joints that are attached to that limb around the torso of the toad starts undulating as the limb stops moving. And then out of one of the open sections of this beast, where it had kind of fallen apart and been decayed, you see a flash of teeth before this thing attempts to leap on top of you. Boop.
Bite. I got hit by 4 points of damage. Ow! I go, ah! I call out so my friends hear me. Oh, I've been bitten! Ow! Motherfucker! Yikes. What is this little beast?
It kind of looks like a freaky tadpole, except it's very sharp. It's like a cross between a tadpole and a lamprey.
Gross.
And
I have animal handling. Can I make it release its jaws?
Well, your turn is coming up. Because
Okay.
it is basically it's latched onto the cloth around your arm.
Ah!
Has chomped into your forearm.
Motherfucker.
Pretty heavily.
Wow. That's
I curse
nasty.
Loudly.
It is tiny, so this is the sort of thing where like you could fucking wave it around and potentially like slam it against a wall or something. Nimbus's turn.
How big is it actually, like overall?
So it's tiny. So this thing is
foot.
maybe a foot in length. Yeah,
Little like it's okay, like a right.
and like head size. Like if this
Right,
thing
but
was,
how many of them are in that fucking body?
if this thing was standing still, you could probably like just wrap both hands around its head, like cup it around.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta get away from this thing. Light it on fire. Kill it with fire. As Nimbus walks by me, I wave it at. Or I call
I'm
out
just
some
gonna
speech. I
thunder
can do.
wave pretty much everything but Amber Green. The corpse, the critter that's on his arm.
Pikachu.
Thunder is sound, not
That
electricity.
is a
No, I know, but Thunder Wave is literally a Pikachu move.
I know, that's why I was
It's
pointing it
a
out.
cube.
All right, it fucks up. So Amber Green, you are able to like bat this thing off of your arm and fling it to the ground in front of you, just in time for Nimbus to step forward and release his Thunder Blast, which catches this thing and it basically splatters it against the far wall.
I would hope it does that to the corpse and all of its contents too.
That too, yeah.
Oh God, chum. Just a wave of chum. Just picks it up and smooshes it against.
Yeah, actually, can everybody roll a dexterity save for?
Yes, it's so nasty.
For splash zone.
Splash zone.
Can I use
you will get wet. You might get soaked.
No, that's a dex save.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Do I get advantage because I'm behind Nimbus?
I was gonna say I would much rather have used my acrobatics. I have +3 on that shit.
I will give Naya and Montlar an advantage for being in the back.
Jump backwards. Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Well rolled. So I leap backwards right into the dragon.
Okay, from those rolls, I gotta say, Amber Green, you're probably the only one getting splattered.
Yep. Oh, thanks, man. Awesome. Wipe my beard down. I'm gonna shit.
I could rinse you off real fast.
Yep. I mean, what you got, man?
Here, you get to drink from the fire hose.
Yep.
Well, I don't have to set it to hose. I can just use like the pour.
Gentle rain.
But it's funnier if you do.
So, we don't know if there's any more of those, but that's something to keep in mind
Yeah.
for having to clear this place out. That is a
Agreed,
double
that's
danger and unexpected. That is very nasty.
Yeah, it also explains the condition of the corpses here. We might want to just set to burning that one over there in the corner.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
yeah, I'd be fine with that. We need to make sure that we can actually clear this place for an obelisk.
Yep.
That's
Burn 'em.
nasty.
We should burn both
Yeah.
bodies, in fact.
I would say, Nimbus, I would say Firebolt would not ignite something like a corpse. I would give
They're
it
too
like,
wet and smooshy.
tapestries, paper, that sort of shit.
I
Loose
have a
wood.
tinderbox, but I don't
But
have
Or
yeah.
fire bolts.
Yeah, if you guys, I would say you guys would need to use like torches. Naya could, if Naya wants to get adjacent to it, she could use her bonfire on it.
Oh, I could throw a torch
I have
on
one
it. Sure.
torch. I have one torch
I've
and a
got two
tinderbox.
torches. I'll throw one. Up.
Yeah, if you guys have torches, you just have to again.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to like produce a bonfire for each one of these corpses.
Yeah, it's basically if they are it's enough that you guys could probably toss like the slightest amount of fuel on top of them, and you'd be able to get them to catch. So it's not hard. But yeah, with a torch.
Oh wait, I probably have some oil. Yeah, I do. I'll just have Badath kind of gingerly pour a bit of oil on each of the things before we burn them. Then, so nobody has to get close.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, and I can throw fireballs at it from using the cantrip, so
Yeah,
I can just keep that up all.
You just create a bonfire in position, or no? Oh,
Sorry,
yours
that,
is just
that was
campfire, or
my mistake. She doesn't have the bonfire spell. She has.
No, I just have the
create
fire
Yeah,
cantrip.
Yeah, which just burns stuff. Yeah, that'll do. All right, so I've expended the one oil or both oils to do this.
I would just use
Probably
one
one for each.
or a half of a pouch of
How
oil
big are
because
the-
we don't
how
know how
big are
many.
We
don't know how many corpses we're gonna find.
For all the corpses that we're dealing with. There's the one here. There's I think 2 or 3
Let's
gator
see, on
corpses.
This floor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say 1 flask of oil would be enough for 2.
Okay. I'll probably pour the oil out of the flask or out of the lantern into one of the flasks to
Okay,
give us
so
a
that
third
would be
one, basically.
yeah. That would come out to a 6. Okay.
All right. Oil expended.
So all right, so you guys are gonna run around and basically clear this whole floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to use this for another keep, and
Or
it's
someplace
got
to
to be
build
clean.
boats anyway.
Right. If we're going to claim it, we got to clean it.
Go ahead and run around the area then, and just go to where you're gonna light these up in order, I suppose. Whatever.
Let's get
order
the
you
one
want to.
down here first, in this south.
Yeah, you guys can move fairly freely around here, I think.
Ah! Gross.
Just stepping in it.
I know, yuck. So we're all very wary now as we prod them.
I hope so.
Any beasts in there?
No, don't prod them. We'll just light them on fire. That's the point.
Yep, burn them. Burning Toads. That's my 1990s grunge band. Should be Smoking Toads, actually, now I think about it. Just the right amount of, like, not understanding it. Market. Yep, smoke bufo toads, you lick them. But toad lickers is too on the nose. Oh, gross.
Smokers was your punk band from the 80s.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Yeah, that was a rough time.
So you guys light that up. Again, if you guys just want to run around the whole area, going where you will to finish these off, I will let you know if you need to cease.
If we see something strange, something weird.
I just want to know where you guys are going in what order.
I'm just running around like I'm on MV. Dude,
I'm just basically following everybody else.
Where are the toads? The toads. What's this guy?
Give me the
All right,
toads.
we've got something in the upper right and something in the upper left.
Give me the toads.
Yeah, both of those are very clearly further.
That's a crocodile man, and I don't think crocodile men host tadpole. Evil.
We need to burn it.
Are you sure? I think only frogmen.
I think we should burn it anyway.
Yeah,
Burn
this is
We need to clear this place out.
It's the only way to be sure.
a large crocodile. It's just like hanging halfway off the cliff.
But it's dead.
It is dead.
Dead crocodile. We could just shove it off the cliff, guys. Crocodiles don't breed the same way as frogs.
Right, but what if that's a parasite? And what if throwing it in the water means it'll spread?
I don't think it will. I think it was a frog baby.
I'm willing to burn it.
Yeah,
Alright,
it feels
burn it,
better
you guys.
safe than sorry.
I think if you try kicking it off, you might find a bunch of things jumping on you.
Gross, but
You
okay.
know what I'll do? I will. I'll delete the shit that you guys
Cool.
burninate.
And then, are any of these being viewed well enough to count as having seen the creature, or they have to actually be alive? I think they have to be alive, right?
It might. Yeah, you probably have to have it alive.
She can shapeshift to an undead frog.
I mean, for like that undead crocodile-looking thing. I don't.
Yeah, like a horrible, gross sin against God.
Yeah, it's
Indeed,
not
shape.
happening. Not
Something
happening.
+1 to intimidation.
Yep. Bah.
Yeah. And same here. Little oil, little fire.
Is that one alive or dead?
Dead.
So are you guys
Are you
are you guys like lobbing torches onto these things?
I was gonna say, if you get too close, they're gonna.
Pouring on a little oil
Jump
from
you.
overhead, and then one of us is using a fire cantrip to light it from a distance.
Okay, I see.
Yep.
So when you light this one up,
Uh-oh. This one has explosive bowels.
a screeching little creature
Monster.
leaps out of the burning corpse and writhes around on the ground. It is still alive.
All right. Are we still in initiative order?
Yeah, we'll say it's not Lauren's turn now.
All right. Squish.
All right, you
Oh.
You swing at it once, and it kind of just scoots out of the way a little bit, and your surprise causes you to miss the second hit. But you do deal 5 damage to it.
Right on.
Amber Green, you can do anything you want.
I'll move here, and then I will move here, and then I will grab up my Warhammer and be like, Kersmash!
Okay, yeah, you splat the thing.
Boom.
You and those things being Jib next to you.
Yep. It was a hammer this time, though. At least you'd expect it from a hammer.
Right.
Here I can turn off monster noise now. Dead now. Glad I did.
This place
Alright,
could
then.
use some prestidigitation later. Okay, so that was 3 corpses that you've disposed of.
Well, that's good.
There were the 2 in the middle, the one at the bottom, the one...
You took care of the one in the bottom right.
Yeah, there's a crocodile down here.
Oh, I figured we took care of the other one in the middle first before we moved to the bottom.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't realize.
Doesn't make you cry. The crocodile.
So those 2, the one at the bottom, the one in the upper right, the one in the upper left. There was one
Look at that one down there.
in the far left, I believe.
Stinking in the corner. Also, there's stairs down there. Remember, guys?
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yep.
check
Yeah,
that
but
out.
let's clear this level first.
Spoken like a true gamer. Capital T, capital G.
All right, now I have a question for you guys. Now that we are in the new gameplay format, roll 20. All right, it's fine. How do you all feel about occasionally having stopping sessions mid dungeon to come back next week with the same team because we
I
can
don't
do
mind
that
that.
now?
That
Yeah,
can
I'm
happen.
fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I did have a question, sir.
sure.
The team signups have different starting times. Sometimes 10 p.m. your time, sometimes 9. And I just was wondering if that was deliberate or if they should all be the same starting time.
I am going to keep it that way. I know most of you guys are later, but 9 is a little bit easier for me, and Irenaeus is also on Eastern time. So if they're going to join us, then that'll work out as well.
Gotcha.
So as long as you
Okay.
guys are all okay with the every other week.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
either time works fine for me.
Yeah, as long as I know that.
For me, this is the dream team.
Okay, very good. In that case, we will pause here. We'll have plenty of time to continue next week, and I will see you guys at 9 p.m. next week, and we'll continue the rest of this adventure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
9
Awesome.
p.m. Eastern, right?
What was that?
9 p.m. Eastern, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be clear for the audio.
9 p.m. Eastern, Friday, the
Word.
14th of February, 2020.